Look, the vast majority of my career has been spent in digital and data before then moving into management roles. So again, I think as the world has evolved and there's certainly more data, there's certainly more digital opportunities certainly with the world of programmatic and how that's evolved, or if not exploded, over the last couple of years. And you're right, I think specifically within Asia, different stages of evolution of markets, and you don't necessarily want to homogenize your product. So where we have great strength in depth with, within IPG Mediabrands, Cadrian as our programmatic offering, or Reprise in terms of search, or Ansible, which we're just launching here in the Philippines actually, our technology and mobile business, that we're able to capitalize not just upon our global playbook and our global strengths, but building stuff up in market. It's not just about copying what we've done in the US or in the UK or in Australia. It's about what is right and what is relevant in a particular territory. And the Philippines, whilst it shares a lot of commonalities in terms of culture and mobile adoption and social media with many other markets, I prefer to think of it as healthy paranoia. I think anybody who is not constantly thinking how their role and themselves evolve, let alone the business that they work in. I only have to look back to the 20 odd years that I've been in the industry, and I think some of the people that I've employed in the last 6 or 7 years who in the programmatic space have come from almost a Wall Street style background and are programmatic traders being bonds traders. What I've seen certainly with the suite of media opportunities and therefore the product that we're building for our clients to capitalize upon it means that there is always new opportunities to move into. So rather than be scared by it, I think be excited by it, but certainly give it some thought because it is going to change. Look, I think the whole area of brand safety is possibly an area that I've spent more time speaking with clients about in relation to programmatic over the last 3 years than any other area. I think that there is massive opportunity and lots of clients capitalize upon that opportunity of the benefits of programmatic. And that's not just programmatic media, but how it impacts the creative assets that are produced. The fact that if you've got 500 different custom audiences in Facebook, obviously you're only getting media advantage if you're not creating 500 different messages for those specific audiences and looking to personalize them. So I think the benefits of programmatic massively outweigh the risks, so long as those risks are carefully considered. And the one thing that I would say with Cadrian, IPG Mediabrands programmatic agency, looking at brand safety, viewability, whitelists, blacklists, bot traffic, I don't think you can solely rely on technology, and it will never be 100% safe 100% of the time. But I think that, again, the benefits outweigh the risks, and when those risks do come up, that we work with clients and we jump on them quickly. I think it's a really great question about whether competitive agencies would ever consider sharing their whitelists or blacklists. That's the first time I've ever been asked it. That's one I'd consider. At the very heart of media planning, to my mind, is reaching the desired target audience. So if we're truly being media neutral, irrespective of channel or even content of particular channel, that we should be looking to use whatever helps best reach that audience and maximize the context of the creative message. So to the point of how we're looking to espouse and live our virtues, I think our role in working with clients is to espouse their virtues. Agencies, as to some degree servants of clients, can put forward best recommendations. Those recommendations always have to be bought by clients. So again, it's a two-way street of we put forward what a recommendation is. If clients, for a variety of reasons, whether it's brand safety, whether it's potential CSR backlash, potentially even marginalizing other audiences, that all of those things need to be considered within the context of where media in this day and age gets placed. For starters, I am a geek. I will freely admit to being a geek and celebrate the fact. I'm also whilst I'm not good at technology, I love what technology can do. So my wife always used to joke I couldn't set the video recorder and I still use a fountain pen, but I'm an absolute passionate believer in how technology can allow brands to communicate with their consumer bases in entirely different ways to what they could 5 years ago, let alone 10 or 20 years ago. I think the experience and the skill set that I've developed over the last 20 years, first and foremost, comes down to people. You know, I look at the 2,600 people that we have across Mediabrands in our 13 markets. Some phenomenally talented, motivated, inquisitive people, and a large part of what I see my job as is getting the best out of those people. And that's something that I've always taken great pride in, that my success will come through the team's success. The great thing being now 9 weeks into the role and having visited 10 of our markets is that I've been so welcomed, so it feels like family already, which is fantastic. There is a connective glue amongst all of those offices, and I think certainly the number one priority for me is ensuring that the connectiveness of our network, and not just at a leadership level, but the communities, within those SBUs, within the Cadrians, the Reprises of the world, as well as and initiatives, that everybody truly knows each other and everybody shares what they can to ensure that as a network our knowledge base is maximised. I think from a philosophical perspective, one of the things that most inspired me in looking to move into Mediabrands was the global positioning around being dynamic by design, and essentially not just being set in our ways. And it does come back to that healthy paranoia, or almost coming back to the fact that businesses can be disrupted at any point in time, even when they're being really successful. So I think we always have to be at least willing to look to keep making change, even when we're at the absolute top of our game. I think within APAC, we've got 13 really strong markets that the potential that they have, whilst it's been successful to date, there's a lot of it that is truly untapped.